Today, I wanted to talk about Mario Kart World since it's been out for about a month and really solidify how I'm feeling about the game because, well, let's just say there's been a lot of controversy about some of the changes that have already been made, and we haven't even heard about anything involving DLC yet, which, is definitely going to happen. But yeah, I have some thoughts about Mario Kart World, and I would say overall, I'm still pretty happy with the game. It is still a lot of fun. The music is absolutely fantastic. It looks great. I love all the new mechanics still, the rail grinding, the wall riding. I hope they never get rid of that. I think it just adds so much extra flair to playing on the tracks. But I do have to admit, there is something about the game that just feels off. And I don't know what it is. And it really could just be the fact that it is so different. It does so many weird things that I just don't understand. There's so many choices that I don't agree with that I'm hoping they'll fix eventually, and I kind of wanted to talk about that. And I guess the first point of mentioning is the intermissions. Now, a lot of people have, said, oh yeah, the intermissions, you just drive straight, there's no strategy, and if you play online, you can just bag for items in the back, and then you just win at the end doing that. It just kind of sucks, right? It's a cool idea, and I can definitely appreciate the intermissions. Now that I have played a bunch of them, I've done a good amount of Knockout Tour, I've played a lot of the intermissions just through online. Yeah, it's, I don't know why Nintendo is pushing it so hard. I kind of get what they're doing. Like, this is something that is brand new, and it's weird because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart World, they're both technically on the Switch too. A lot of people that are playing Mario Kart World probably have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe right next to them on their Switch 2 menu, so they wanted World to be something that's different. And because they spent so much time working on the free roam, the whole open world thing, and creating all of the different intermissions, they want to make sure that, hey, look, the intermissions are different. We want you to play these more than just the regular tracks, which is so strange to me because the regular tracks are absolutely fantastic. Honestly, some of the most fun tracks out of any Mario Kart games. Now, obviously, not all of them are perfect, but because of the new wall riding, because of the rail grinding, these tracks, especially the retro tracks, have so much life brought to them. Even if you're not that good at Mario Kart, rail grinding and charge jumping, again, like all the new mechanics, they're all pretty easy to get a handle of. It takes a while to master them, but everyone can at least, do it. And it makes the track so much more interesting. Like, I think the greatest example of this is Shy Guy Bazaar. It's a pretty fun track in Mario Kart 7. It's nothing too crazy, but it's still fun. But the Mario Kart World version is, like, ridiculous. It has so many different branching paths. There are so many ways to play that track. And it's just awesome. It is so cool. It brings so much life to the track. It brings so much replay value. But, like, then you got Nintendo that's like, hey, you know what? How about everyone plays the intermissions? They want us to go straight and just not take advantage of any of these new mechanics, which are incredible. I mean, I can't even imagine how hard it must have been to not only come up with these new mechanics, but perfect them in the way that they did. They actually work really, really fluidly. Like, I love the idea of being able to just wall ride on the fly, or being able to hit a rail grind, jump off, do multiple tricks in the air, trick off of random obstacles. Like, that is a purposeful mechanic in the game. And it's just, and Nintendo's like, no, how about ignore all that, drive straight? It's just weird. It's just such a weird change. And yeah, I guess I'll quickly talk about the online. I mean, I've kind of already talked about that, but yeah, ever since that update came out, I have not touched online. I don't know if anyone else has been doing that. For anyone that, is lucky enough to have been able to get a Switch 2 and has been playing Mario Kart World. I'm actually kind of curious. Let me know in the comments. Have you been playing the online in Mario Kart World ever since that update? Because when I first heard about it, and I saw footage of how it worked, and how it's like almost impossible now, like there's a very small chance of just playing 3-lap tracks, you're basically forced to play intermissions, it completely killed any interest that I had. On the main channel, I made a bit of a, I guess you could say a bit of a reaction, a little bit of an angry rant for a few minutes. The reason that I made that video, because I was literally just starting to get into playing online every night. It was starting to become a habit, and I was having a really fun time with it. There was a really good balance of playing intermission sometimes, but mostly people wanted to play the 3-lap track. So It was honestly nice to get a little taste of both. But now Nintendo is just forcing everyone to play intermissions. And I don't understand, because there's Knockout Tour. And I love Knockout Tour. Honestly, that is what makes the intermissions make sense in this game. For that mode specifically. Like, yes, Knockout Tour, it just wouldn't really be as fun if it was just the 3-lap tracks. It would probably get a little bit repetitive, honestly. It's perfect for that. So I just don't understand why Nintendo can't disperse both of these different modes, your 3 laps and your intermission. You're allowed to have these 2 different ways of playing in their own categories. It's just, that's why I'm saying it just feels weird and just off. I just don't understand. And then like Grand Prix it's like the same thing with Grand Prix. Like, why is there intermissions in the Grand Prix? Like, every track starts as a regular traditional 3-lap track, and then it transitions to intermissions. I can't wrap my head around why. I don't get it. You know what's crazy too is that the fact that they did that, it actually left a really bad impression on me for a lot of the tracks, because I didn't get to fully appreciate and experience them. So like, as an example, when I first played Wario Stadium, the N64 remake, when I first played that in Grand Prix, I didn't like it. I really did not like it because I wasn't able to play the track enough times and really leave a proper impression on what parts of these remind me of the original and what parts are like kind of new. Because I only played one track, I wasn't able to get a good grasp on that track, and this was the same problem with multiple tracks. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. So I guess like something else to bring up too is the free roam. I actually really like free roam still. I think it is probably the best part of Mario Kart World, to be honest. But the way that Nintendo has kind of implemented it is very confusing to me. Because, look, I think the entire point of free roam and what really makes it the most fun is to not care about anything. Do not try to 100% the P-Switch missions. Do not go for all the question mark panels. Don't look for all the Peach medallions. Like, look, if you're driving around and you stumble onto any of those things, great. That's cool. That's awesome. That's when it's at its most fun, is when you're just casually playing, jamming out to the music. That is where free roam is at. But the thing is like, not everyone is that kind of player. I think it's important for Nintendo to try to cater to multiple different play styles. And literally all they had to do to remedy this problem is make the minimap better. They just had to make it like Breath of the Wild, honestly. So like, as an example, let's say you did a P-Switch close to Mario Bros. Circuit, and as soon as you've done it, boom, right on your map, you'll see exactly where that P-Switch was, and then you'll know, okay, I've already found one here, so now I can look around, or I can look in a different place. And they could have done that for the Peach medallions and the question mark panels. And of course, yes, for the question mark panels, you can technically get a count for either 5 or 10 panels per track. So they do have that at the bare minimum, but it's such a weird design philosophy, because what Nintendo has done is they've created a collectathon while also being an anti-collectathon. Like, it's bizarre. And again, it does work if you're playing the game very casually and you're not hunting down all these little collectibles. It's great for that manner, but yeah, it's just strange. And then, yeah, I guess like another thing to touch on too, the battle mode. I will be honest, I have not played the battle mode since it first came out, because man, was that bare bones. I mean, you got balloon battle and coin runners. You got, 24 players, 8 different tracks, which is fine. A lot of the tracks are just like way too big and wide. And I really appreciate the fact that when you actually lose all your balloons in balloon battle, you actually get eliminated and you don't respawn. But the timer still exists. Like, there's just no options. And I guess speaking of a lack of options, that's another thing that I noticed about this game, is that there really are a big lack of options. And even just like super basic stuff that most video games have. And I know Nintendo does not tend to have a lot of options when it comes to customizing their games, because they want you to play a certain way. I get that, but like, even the incredibly basic stuff like volume sliders for the music and the sound effects, there's not even volume sliders for anything. So if you wanted to like just jam out to the music, you can't even do that. There's no jukebox, so we can't just listen to all of the incredible music that was remixed. And there's not even a way to turn items on and off, which was something that they introduced in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's just so weird to me that they haven't done that yet. Like, they're probably going to include at least some of those things in an update, but like, what are we waiting for? Like, I don't understand. At the very least, actually, you know, I take that back. Everything that I just brought up for options should have all been there day one. And speaking of the items, you know, the NPC unlockables, the whole having to use Kamek and pray that he spawns a new NPC. I don't like, I really, really don't like that that's how you have to unlock the characters. It's way too complicated for no reason at all. And it's painfully unfun to try to grind out. Literally all they had to do was take some of those missions, any of the 394 from the free roam, and just attach unlockables through those. In fact, there are 6 of those special P-Switch missions where they're like extra difficult. Why not tack on a few extra really difficult ones, and you unlock an NPC character by doing them? That would be a really, really good way. And honestly, it would just be like a fun surprise in general. So again, it's just weird. I don't understand. It's just strange. Yeah, I guess like just to wrap things up, what a bizarre start to the Switch 2 generation. Like, I'm still pretty optimistic. I am pretty excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza. This actually should be going out a couple days before DK Bonanza, and I actually think that game is going to be a lot better than this one, just because it's got like, it looks a lot more polished. You got the skill tree thing. You can customize how DK and Pauline play. And it just looks so fun, and I really enjoyed that game from what I played at the Switch 2 experience a few months ago. So I'm very, very excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I'm very, very curious to see how Mario Kart World is going to go down, because I think there's a pretty good shot. Well, it's basically a guarantee we're going to get DLC for the game, but the question is how often? How often are we going to be getting content updates? It could be a few times a year, maybe once every 3 months, once every 4 months, where they just like drop some new characters, drop new P-Switch missions or something. There's a bunch of ways that they could add in new stuff. People have even theorized that there'll be brand new islands. There'll be like a Donkey Kong island with a whole set of new P-Switch missions and Peach medallions and question mark panels to find with like new tracks and stuff. Maybe they'll do that with like Zelda and Splatoon and Animal Crossing, and I think that would be very, very cool. I just don't know if that's gonna happen. Like, considering how long this game took to come out and how long it must have taken to just develop this open world to begin with how intricate it is and how complex everything is, I just don't see them having the time to do that, to be quite frank. We'll definitely get more tracks, we'll get more characters. That's absolutely going to happen. I mean, we'll probably even get more game modes for battle mode. We'll probably get Renegade Roundup Bat, we'll get Shine Thief. I remember what the other one is. Oh, Bob and Blast. We'll probably get that one too. I'm sure all those things are coming. Yeah, it's just weird that the game just kind of feels like, I don't want to say the game is unfinished. It's not unfinished. There's just the decisions that they have made. Some of the decisions in how they're trying to force us to play Mario Kart World is just weird. I've said that a bunch of times in this video, but I don't know how else to describe it. It just feels off to me, and that's it. All right, bye.